Hi, how's it going, guys? Things are great. Anyway, I know that we usually, or before we had not had read aloud on Friday, we're not going to have read aloud on Mondays. So we're going to go ahead and do Friday this week. The other thing that I want you to know, get out of here, Avery, is that starting next week, I will not accept or give you credit for answers like, I have no idea, I don't know, things like that. Take a guess for me, okay? All right, so let's go ahead and start with chapter 9 tonight. An hour seemed to pass before Connor continued. When he finally did, it was in hushed tones, as if he expected the servants' ears were pressed against the doors of our room. Some of you may believe you've already guessed my plan, he began, but I assure you it is not treason. Indeed, in a roundabout way, it may prevent treason in King Ecbert's court. Carthia is on the brink of civil war, and very few citizens are aware of it. A major change is coming to this country. What is it? Tobias asked. We all had that same question, but Connor's glare reflected his irritation at being interrupted. I will come to that in a moment, he said. Do you remember what I told you about Valdergrath? He has long planned for this day, and even now has begun to amass those loyal to him, so that he can force the rest of us to give him the king's crown. But other regents are also aspiring to the crown. They are quietly gathering their supporters. In 2 weeks, war will erupt in Carthia. It will split the country along lines of loyalty or alliances and may pit families against each other, friends against friends, and town against town. Thousands will inevitably die in that war. Avenia, the country of your origin, sage, is watching closely, waiting for an opportunity to strike. They are hungry for our rich farmlands and the minerals our mountains provide. When Carthia is weakest and most divided, Avenia will strike and swallow up Carthia with the force of a tidal wave. Avenia is a cesspool at best. In a generation will be no better. Connor tilted his head at me. Don't pretend to look horrified at my words, Sage. You know my description of Avenia is true. It is, I quietly agreed. Then you hope to prevent the civil war, Tobias said. But you said yourself that you could never hope to become king. Do you remember this morning when I asked how many heirs King Ecbert has? Connor said. What was your answer, Sage? 2. But as Tobias pointed out, I was wrong. There is only one crown prince, Darius, still alive. Ecbert's younger son was lost at sea. The younger son was named Jaren. Since coming to court, I've been told many stories about him, some of which could not possibly be true with the castle still standing in one piece. I heard he set fire to the throne room as a child, Tobias said. And he challenged the king of Mendenwall to a duel of honor when he was 10 years old, Roden added. He lost, of course, but not by much, so the story goes. We've all heard the stories, I snapped. What's the point? Let me finish, Connor said. 4 years ago, when he was nearly 11 years of age, Jaren was to be sent north to the country of Bymar, always a friend to Carthia. He was sent there not only to be educated abroad, but frankly to stop embarrassing the king and queen. However, on the way, his ship was attacked by pirates. There were no survivors. Pieces of the boat washed ashore for months, but Jaren's body was never found. I did hear about this once, I said. Avenia was accused of hiring the pirates. If King Ecbert had any proof, he would have gone to war. At least you know about your own country, Connor said. It probably was Avenia. Piracy is certainly their style. Some say the pirates have more power there than the Avenian king, but Ecbert could rule out the possibility that as a border country to Avenia, Jelen had hired them. Both countries have easy access to the waters where Jaren's ship went down. My father followed that news carefully, I said. He didn't want war no matter what else was sacrificed. If he was still alive, my father would have been honored to fight on behalf of Carthia, Tobias said. I'm not the son of a coward. It would have felt good to defend my father's honor by punching Tobias in the face, but although my father was not a coward, he would have avoided being in a war at any cost. That fact was one of the last things he and I ever thought about. 3 regents have made the trip to Isel, a seaport town from which Prince Jaren's ship launched. They seek any proof of his death. Or his life. His life? Roden sat forward in his chair. Is it possible Jaren's alive? A body has never been found, Roden, but if Prince Jaren were alive, then he would be next in line for the throne. Not Vildergrath or any other noble could claim it, and Carthia would be saved from civil war. Then Avenia would not attack. But it's irrelevant, Tobias said. Egbert and Aaron rule now. Eventually, Crown Prince Darius will take the throne. Connor leaned in closer to us. And this is the greatest secret of your lives thus far. They are dead, all three of the royal family. The few of us who know the truth have said the royal family is on a diplomatic mission to Jellin. Meanwhile, their bodies secretly lie far beneath the castle. We sat there, beyond shock and too horrified to breathe. The news that not just one, but all three royals were dead was impossible to bear. My stomach grew queasy at the thought of it, but I pushed those feelings down. How did they die? I whispered. Murder. We believe they were administered some sort of poison at supper. They never awoke. Any suspects? Roden asked. Connor dismissed his question with a wave of his hand. Don't be naive. Egbert has many enemies, and frankly, I wouldn't trust most of his friends. I believe all three family members were intended victims, clearing the path for a noble to become king. So was it Vildergrath? I asked. A lot of regions suspect him, but there's no evidence of it, Connor said. We shall see who puts themselves forward to be king and then judge. And you hope to find Prince Jaren and stop the nobles from fighting over the throne, Tobias said. Not exactly, Connor said. Prince Jaren is long dead, and I can prove it. How? I asked. Connor smiled. I'm afraid for now I must ask you to trust me on that. It's my secret and mine alone. However, since the regents are unaware of my proof, their trip to Isel is only to end any official doubt before another king is chosen. That is where you come in, because you see, many Carthians have small hopes that Jaren is alive. Nobody has seen him for nearly 4 years. He would be 14 today, about the same age as you boys. Surely the three of you have noticed certain physical similarities between one another. He paused a moment and his smile widened. You also have similarities in appearance to Prince Jaren as he might look today. My plan is simple, really. I intend to convince the court that Prince Jaren is one of you. Okay, that is the end. So, for Friday, I want you to answer this question. What is Connor's plan? What's he going to do? Okay. The other questions, I have 2 questions. What is Connor's plan? The second one is what's the secret that he told them to keep? Okay. So what is Connor's plan? What's the secret that they want that he asked them to keep? So question 1, question 2. All right. Okay. I hope you guys have a wonderful weekend, and we will do Read Aloud again on Tuesday. See you later.